Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you all today to the launch of the book How ICT was Enabled in Local Languages. I invite Professor Gihan Dias, a professor at the University of Moratuwa, domain registrar, and also the CEO and founder of the LK Domain Registry. One of the most significant milestones in Professor Dias's career was setting up Sri Lanka's country code top-level domain.lk. Professor Dias was a program director of the ICTA, where he led the program on ICT in local language. He is a past president of the Internet Society and was inducted into the Internet Hall of Fame in 2013 for his pioneering work on developing the Internet in Sri Lanka. He will tell us why it was necessary to document the struggles and the accomplishments which made it possible to use ICT in Sinhala and Tamil.
Thank you, Niroja. So it gives me great pleasure, although there is only a small number of people in the room. There is a much larger number both on Zoom as well as Facebook. So there is a very large number. So I'm sorry we couldn't arrange it in a big hall, but we thought this is the safest way to handle it, just in case we have a situation where we can't have a large meeting. I will remove this thing and talk. So let me go back to the late 1990s at the then Syntech, Computer and Information Technology Council of Sri Lanka. And so there we had a committee called the Internet Committee. Several of the members are here: Jayanta, Harsha, Vasanta, Aruni, and maybe I think those are the people who are here today. And what we were trying to do in that committee is not local languages, but we were trying to have internet, make people use the internet more. But so then somebody, I don't know who it was in the committee, said, oh, let's have a website. And websites were fairly new those days. I mean, not like today where websites are very common. In Sinhala and Tamil, to explain to people how to get onto the internet. Because then, as now, majority of people in Sri Lanka cannot speak English, they cannot understand English, even if they can read English. So one interesting thing in Sri Lanka is that many people can read the English and they can maybe pronounce the words, but they will not really understand and they will not speak. ඉතින් අපි හිතුවා අපි මේක සිංහලෙන් දාමු වෙබ්සයිට් එකක්. So very good idea. Everybody said yes, අපි කරමු මේක. Then the question is කොහොමද සිංහලෙන් වෙබ්සයිට් එකක් දාන්නේ? Right? ඒක අපි පටන් ගත්තාම අපිට එකට උත්තරයක් හොයාගන්න බැරි වුණා ලේසියෙන්. මුලින්ම කොහොමද මේ සිංහල අකුරු මොනවද මේ අපි වෙබ් එකේ දාන්නේ කොහොමද? ඊට පස්සේ අපි හැමෙන් හොයනකොට එක එක જાතිය අකුරු තිබුණා. මේ ඒ වුණාට කවුද කිව්වා නෑ නෑ ඒව හරියන්නේ නැහැ යුනිකෝඩ් කියන එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ. යුනිකෝඩ් කියලා ෆොන්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා නේද? යුනිකෝඩ් ෆොන්ට් එක කවුරු ළඟ තියෙන්නේ? මිස්ටර් නන්දසාර ළඟ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි නන්දසාර හම්බ වෙන්න ගියා. මේ UCSC එක maybe at that time it was ICT. ඊට පස්සේ නන්දසාර කියන ඔව් එහෙම අපි ළඟ ෆොන්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා තමයි ඒනට අපිට දෙන්න හරි රිලක්ටන්ට්. ඊට පස්සේ අපි කීයද මේ ෆොන්ට් එක? 10000 right? අපි 10000 ගෙව්වා. චෙක් එකක් ලියවගෙන ගිහින් දීලා දැන් සල්ලිත් ගෙවලා තියෙන දැන් ෆොන්ට් එක එනකන් ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් obviously දැන් ඔඩිට්ස්ලා එහෙම අහනවා මොකද මේ සල්ලි වලට උනේ කියලා. මේ ඉතින් කොහොම හරි සෑහෙන වෙලාවක් ගියා. මොකද ඇත්තටම ඒ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් මේ යුනිකෝඩ් කියන එක ඇත්තටම අපිට හරියට ඒ දවස්වල අපි තේරුම් අරන් හිටියේ නෑ. ඒ නන්දසාරයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කට්ටිය මේ ෆොන්ට් එකක් හැදුවට ඒ ෆොන්ට් එක 100%ක් වැඩ කරේ නෑ. අපි බලද මොකද්ද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ? ඇයි මේව වැඩ කරන්නේ නැත්තේ? ඇයි මේ Unicode කියන එක සිංහලෙන් කරන්න බැරි? And then of course we had to look at Tamil. Right? So what do we need to get things running in Tamil? So we realized that a bit before that, in the 1990s, and even before that in the 1980s, there has been a lot of work by Professor Samar Nayaka, Mr. Nandasara, Professor JB, and many other people to get this work done. And then we realized that, okay, but still there are some more work to be done. So instead of the Internet Committee, which of course continued, we also started a thing called a local language working group. And I think we started that in about 2001 or so, I think, when Syntech was still Syntech, and or maybe 2000. Anyway, I don't know if it's actually mentioned the date of starting that is mentioned in the book. I can't remember. And then from then on, we continue to do various things, and that committee has moved here and there and everywhere. But now I think it's back at ICTA, although we haven't had a meeting very recently. And we hope that we will continue our work even after 20 years. Right, so that is how we started. I won't talk about the books since the author is here, but I just want to give a bit about this book and Aruni. So I realized that this is not the first book I have worked on with Aruni. The first book was something called E Murabataya. When ICTA was started in about 2003, we decided that we will have a book to tell people about computer security. And so most books on computer security are very dry, right? They say, oh, to be secure, you have to do this. Oh, whatever you do, don't do that, right? And very dry, and most people don't read them. They take it and you say, I will read it next week, and they will just keep it. But Aruni came up with the idea of having very nice pictures and then very engaging text, like a story. Basically, it was a story. But you are the one who wrote the book, right? Anyway, so I said I worked with you. Some ideas may have come from me. And we came up with just a small booklet. Unfortunately, it's out of print, but we have a few copies. I think we should do another edition of that also. And then I realized that Aruni has a great talent for writing things in such a way that they can be understood by people, right? As a story. So if you look at this one also, it starts with a story of Kumara looking for Bindumati, right? So finally, I don't know whether he found Bindumati or not. But it starts with that problem Kumara had and ends with hopefully Kumara solving that problem. Maybe he'll tell us whether it was actually solved or not. And in the middle, it goes back, of course, to the 1980s with the Wang computers and DMS and several other things like that, where we were using technologies. I think Mr. Jayanta De Silva was also around at that time, and he knows the type of technologies which were there those days. The screens were not graphic screens, character screens, so green screens, right? And sometimes not even keyboards and so on. We were using punch card machines and all sorts of things. And trying to get Sinhala and Tamil to work in that was a huge thing. Now it's 100 times easier. So from the 1980s, then 1990s, where the the Sri Lanka Standard Institute's committee worked on standardizing Unicode. Then all the work done by many people. So if you look at this, certainly I will be the first person to say that we have left out various people here. That is the nature of writing a book like this, because if you try to do everything, you will never succeed. So I'm sure there will be people who said, I did this, why is it not here? Which is probably going to be true, but the only way you can write a book is write about things you can write about. So we start with Tibas Kaputa from Niranjan Meegamana is here. Then Microimage, Helavadana, Shan Shanmuganathan, and then associate newspapers, Lake House, which obviously they had to get all their uh, papers done, and they realized that if the things had to be on the web, they had to be on a way that people can have it on the web. Then so various things like that, which document all the things which happened starting from the 1980s up to maybe about mid 2010s. So of course the story continues. So the book is of course printed, and this will be the book. But I don't know, there'll be a second edition, maybe there might be. But of course the saga continues. Many more things need to be done. Especially one of the things we need to do is have all these new things which are coming up: artificial intelligence, machine learning, right? Internet of things. They should work in our languages, right? Right now most of them are not. So that will be our next challenge, and of course by the time we solve those, there'll be some new challenges. So by the time these guys get a bit old and start working in these areas, I'm sure they'll be working on challenges which are we don't even know about today. So but for all those, I'm 100% sure we will also need, if we want our country, our people to use technology, then the technology has to be in our language. There were certain people when we started in 2000s who complained, you are going to destroy this country, you are going to create a generation of people who don't know English. But of course, I mean, most of our country never knew English, and they will continue not to know English. And if you Right. So if you look at countries like Thailand, I mean, they have managed to do a whole lot where everybody speaks in Thai and very small number of people, and even Japan. I mean, if you go to Japan and try to figure out who speaks English, very few. That doesn't stop them from developing. So we have to realize that we should not necessarily have to change to meet technology. It is technology which should change to meet us. So that is basically what this book is about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dias. Now I would like to invite author Ms. Aruni Gunatilaka, who was a senior program manager at ICTA of Sri Lanka, which she joined at ICTA's inception in 2003. One of the key areas under her purview was the Local Languages Initiative. She will speak to us on how the book was done.
Yeah, I started doing this because Gihandas has been telling me for a long time, even while I was at ICTA, that this has to be documented. If he hadn't told me, I would have just left ICTA and gone off and forgotten about it. But even Harsha has said that there are things on the internet where various people have said that they have done this and that. So we thought it's good to have a proper, accurate record of exactly who did what, and I have tried my very best to be unbiased and accurate. So how the book was done is, now I was earlier at Syntech and then later on at the ICT agency. So because these were the apex bodies, there were most of the private sector, government and individuals, they tended, I mean, they used to I won't say they were around this place. I mean, it was like a focal point. So we had from the beginning, Professor Samaranayak also set up a working group that was called Recommending Standards on Sinhala and Tamil, and later on it became the well-known local languages working group. So in these committees, there were people who are actually knowledgeable and implementing things. So I had a general idea of whom I should talk to in order to get the information. Right from the 1980s onwards, I knew who had been involved in what. And when I set out to do this book, I contacted most of them. I interviewed, and also there were other people that I had not really had any communication with. For example, Jagat Ranamaga told me about a person called Mr. Mahanama who had done a lot, but I didn't know that even either at Syntec or at ICTA. So I managed to get that information in. Then there had been one Jayanta De Silva long ago. I think it's not you, who had done a font called Lihil. So even that I documented. Then there was a person from Anuradhapura who has been doing beautiful, really beautiful fonts. So I tried my best even to include people who were not directly connected with the two apex bodies, and I interviewed them and I got first-hand information, and also I was given a lot of other documents. For example, Chamila, who was at the UCSCS, he gave me a lot of documents to refer. So that is how I did the book. And there is a section specifically on the private sector, then universities and government. And then I come to ICTA, and that I didn't interview anybody because I just wrote it on my own, because after Gihan left, I was mostly almost 100% involved in that. And the projects, I handled the projects that were implemented. So the ICTA part I wrote on my own. The others were based on interviews with other people. So that is how the book was done.
Thank you, Aruni. Now I would like to invite Mr. Jayanta Fernando, who has pioneered ICT law reforms in Sri Lanka for nearly 20 years. He has been a program director and legal advisor of ICTA. He gave leadership to Sri Lanka's accession to the Budapest Cybercrime Convention and Sri Lanka's ratification of the UN Electronic Communications Convention, both first for South Asia. He has extensive ICT law experience and serves as an expert with UNCITRAL and Council of Europe. He is the current chairman of the board of directors of LK Domain Registry. He will speak to us on ICT's story on enabling ICT in local languages.
Good afternoon, Chairman ICTA, Professor Gihan Dias, CEO and General Manager of LK Registry, my good friend Aruni, the author of the book, Harsha, and of course, Board Director and former Secretary, Mr. Vasantha Deshapriya, and guests who are present and who are online. Based on, I think she gave an introduction in a very formal way. None of those introduction aspects have anything to do with the subject matter of today's discussion. And I am no technical expert, nor am I a person in this field of local languages. However, I'm delighted to speak here, having been the program director in charge of the subject that gave supervision and direction to this area at ICTA for nearly 10 years, right, Aruni? So I, for some odd reason, there was I think after, Gihan was with us for 1 year, about roughly 1 year. And then when he left, Aruni took over the local languages initiative. And then of course, even at that time, around 2004 June, the World Bank funded East Sri Lanka development program was not yet formally in place. We were doing preparatory work. We were doing kind of pilot projects with our stakeholders, and it was kind of unsure how the World Bank program will materialize. And on the 21st of June 2004, I still remember the date very well, is when we completed the negotiation of the East Sri Lanka program, and Vasantha was also there. And of course, I must mention at that time, the Secretary Prime Minister, Mr. Lalit Wiratunga, gave significant amount of support to renegotiate certain elements of the World Bank program to include local dimensions, including R&D related work to many other aspects that were not included in the original design of the World Bank program that was negotiated by Honorable Milinda Morogoda and others with World Bank. So if you remember, in the original design of the World Bank program, the support element for the local languages initiative was there nominally. There was a small line with limited allocation, but there was no drop-down menu, so to say, that would give the hare or the gist of the components that will be implemented. So we were fortunate in having Aruni, who helped to negotiate. I also take the opportunity of warmly welcoming Mrs. Shreya Samaranayake, dear friend and wife of our mentor, late Professor V.K. Samaranayake, who was a pioneering figure. We mentioned him a short while ago, who pioneered this subject, and we are grateful for your presence, right? So we were on the story of how ICTA got involved. So, once the World Bank program was negotiated, there was a bit of a challenge what components of local language elements can be included. And then soon thereafter, our first CEO left and joined the World Bank. We had Manju Hatotu, who was also very passionately supporting this area, but the details were not configured. And then we had Professor V.K. Samaranayake, who joined ICTA board on the 15th of January 2005. In fact, it's very interesting. Aruni and Vasantha will recall, ICTA functioned with without a chairman and a board for 10.5 months. Right? There was a lot of disagreement of who should be the chairman, and there were 2-3 nominations. They all fell out. And then eventually we had our dear Professor V.K. Samaranayake as chairman of the board, with likes of Dr. R.B. Ekanayake and Ravi Senanayake and many other people who came and who gave fresh momentum and direction to the organization to make sure that what we did had an impact at a grassroots level, that the people and the various sectors of the country, especially government sector, eGov was not even given enough focus, that we would get emphasis in those special areas. So what Aruni did was, she helped to distill down the local language component into various sub areas. And I think I still have some of those old emails. You wrote to me and said, where are we going to park it? And the World Bank people who used to come and supervise this area was testing about where to park it. And it got parked under Program Area 1, that is policy, law, and institutional development aspect. I don't know for what reason they parked it there, enabling environment. So I thought, okay, I will give not leadership, but support. I must qualify by saying, although I had some degree of a lot of involvement in convincing the World Bank to support this area, my role was to facilitate, because the true leadership for this area came from Aruni. And I must not forget the fact that it also came from another gentleman here in the audience, Mr. Vasantha Deshapriya, who subsequently became Program Director of e-Government and was passionately driving this subject. So ICT's involvement in this area became more and more significant, because I remember once in 4 months, we had a World Bank evaluation team who used to fly down to Sri Lanka to figure out what we have been doing, what did we achieve, what were the outcomes, and everything was measured with the deliverables and what contracts have been awarded. If things were not moving so well in those areas, there was always a threat that monies will be diverted to other components. So what we did under this enabling environment or legal enabling policy environment, thanks to the support of people like Aruni, was to work expeditiously and methodically to implement this drop-down menu under local languages initiative and obtain the support of the industry giants through the local language working group. And it had people of the likes of Dr. R.B. Ekanayaka, who chaired it soon after the demise of late Professor V.K. Samaranayaka in Sweden in June 2007. The leadership to this area was given by Dr. R.B. Ekanayaka, and I also wish to recognize him with a lot of gratitude for the support he gave, because when people are trying to get me to chair the LLWG, shivers stand on my spine, because when it comes to these technical scientific things, I get a bit worried, because I'm a social science legal kind of person, so I don't know these ones and zeros and numbers that all of you talk about, but I like this area. I give support. So in conclusion, I want to emphasize that ICTA played a pivotal role in carrying forward the work that was not completed from the days Syntech launched the local language initiative. And I would like to draw your reference to page 28 of the World Bank results report, published after a 1 full year of independent evaluations with regard to the performance of the East Sri Lanka Development Program and the way it was implemented by ICTA. And here is what they say. They have described about the e-laws, then the work we did establishing Sri Lanka CERT under Program Area 1, and so on and so forth. And thereafter, there's a special paragraph under Local Languages Initiative, which I would like to read out. Local Languages Initiative of the East Sri Lanka Development Program under Program Area 1 was also an important component that is targeted towards bridging the digital divide. Bridging the digital divide. That is a crucial element. The objective was to ensure that ICT can be used in Sinhala and Tamil based on national and international standards, SLSI standards and ISO standards, and to ensure that ICT in local languages was easy to use. Projects such as 1, enabling Sinhala and Tamil in mobile operating systems. So here I'm reading the drop-down menu. Number 2, text-to-speech systems for Sri Lanka Tamil and speech-to-text systems for Sri Lanka Tamil. Number 3, Unicode compliant publishing in Sinhala and Tamil. Number 4, developing a Sri Lanka Tamil language corpus. And 5, developing translation tools to enable translations between Sinhala and Tamil have been successfully implemented by ICTA using the funds in a methodical and a proactive and a systematic manner. According to the countrywide provisional data of the Local Language Evaluation Survey, which is referenced in this report, the Unicode addresses the anomaly caused by numerous non-standard local language fonts. Over 84% of the surveyed users were aware of the availability of local languages computing. 72% were able to use local languages computing, and users were able to develop Unicode compliant local language websites and use Sinhala and Tamil in the digital media in an accurate manner. However, printers and publishers were unable to use it due to incompatibilities in printing and publishing related software, lack of knowledge about local languages computing among private sector. So more work needs to be done by ICTA in partnership with vendors to ensure that this work is continued. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that due to the lack of focus, perhaps from February 2015, this area was not given much focus, and these areas identified to be completed together with vendors, we could not perhaps continue, but Aruni, and of course with the help of Mr. Deshapriya, who became our secretary, tried their best to do that part. And I'm grateful to the new chairman of ICTA, not new anymore, I mean, he has been there since January this year. But of course, he's having to manage a lot of challenges in terms of getting the organization operationalized properly. He'll do that with his industry giant. We are grateful that he, without even getting any chairman's perks, he's joined ICTA to support this unfinished work to take them forward. And one last comment is that ICTA played a pivotal role in supporting the work of Harsha to find the various character numerals that were not properly identified in the earlier documentation. And the last area, and not the least, is that in the work of the local languages working group, I think Aruni might be able to write perhaps a postscript or an epilogue from this book and maybe publish it on this LK registry funded website to refer to the disconnected areas that were connected. So for example, although ICTA was driving this, there was no link with the SLSI and the engineering team at SLSI had the monopoly right to feed in local languages working group material to the ISO. For some strange reason, again, I happened to be on the board of SLSI, and then we told the SLSI chairman and the director general, look here, this is not the way we should be working in future. ICT agency is not something in a different planet. We are part of this ecosystem. Why not we give rights to an ICTA nominated person to communicate or have the direct communication ability with the ISO, International Standards Organization committee that dealt with the subject, and that opened new vistas. And I remember Gihan, Harsha, many of you defending Sri Lanka's position vis-a-vis that gentleman called Michael Everson, right? And we had to fly Professor J.B. Disanayake to defend Sri Lanka's position once. So that work, I'm happy to say, people like us were able to facilitate the unconnected people. We were able to connect. But most importantly, even in that area, Aruni, we have things which are now not connected with ISO. I don't think we have a proper link. We need to re-establish that. Yeah, so I would think that you might like to write an epilogue on some of that work that may not be referred here, as well as the work of people like Channa De Silva, for example, who happens to be one of the internet pioneers also, currently the general manager of Lankaclear. Something he did, in conclusion, I have to say this, because we have to remember people like that also. You remember when with all these solutions on Microsoft platforms, on Windows platforms, we had a problem with typing something was going wrong. So, I mean, I don't know the details of what was happening. It didn't matter to me what the details were. I told Channa, give us a solution. So Channa started working with you all in your local languages working group and identified the problem. He represented Microsoft. And eventually, I think I have the email with me. The mail Channa wrote right up breaking the communication channel to none other than Bill Gates. he wrote to Bill Gates to eventually get Sinhala Unicode embedded into the keyboard driver. So I don't know what you call it, whatever, embedded into the Windows platform to enable us use Unicode fonts effectively. So having remembered all the people who matter, once again, I'm grateful to Professor V.K. Samaranayaka. I'm also grateful to Professor P.W. Apasinghe and to the gentlemen who are present here today and to those who are not present for the work they did, including those of Dr. R.B. Kanayaka. And with that note, I thank you and I welcome the Chairman ICTA, and I look forward to his continuity with this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fernando. Now I would like to invite our chief guest, the present chairman of ICTA and co-founder and managing director of IFS, Mr. Jayantha De Silva, who has over 30 years of experience in the IT industry and who has extensive exposure in national policymaking and strategies for knowledge services, with hands-on experience and large projects globally. He is also a founder member and former chairman of SLASCOM and former chairman of the Software Exporters Association. We would like to invite you to talk to us now.
Madam Samaranayaka, really honored to have you here today. Aruni and dear friends, let me first thank you for inviting us. And I had a lot of stories about the past, how it was done, and what ICTA's involved is. So from the start, I would say that we would be very happy to engage ourselves, collaborate with you, obviously in the future direction, which is a prime importance to the country. I would rather now talk rather than a technology guy or anything. I'd rather talk as a user because most of my time I've worked in private sector. I would just give you one small story here. I come from a very agricultural background, and my first job, I would say, is not IT, agriculture. So I was very keen in agriculture, and at one time the country was shifting from the traditional paddy to cash crops, right? So we used to grow soybeans, gherkins, special kind of plantains to export, madam. So the biggest problem that I as a farmer faced was, the risk that was involved in this type. It was a huge cost, not like paddy. So I was planning and I was supporting the Agriculture Insurance Board a lot. So when we started, I was partly programming, doing the programs. I was basically a programmer, starting with, Professor Samaranayaka, who has helped me a lot, right? So did this program and my wife happened to work at Agriculture Insurance Board. So they were asking me to help them. Once we did it, our biggest problem was the certificate was coming in English. And Rambanda or Mutubanda couldn't understand anything of this, So obviously, as a user, I wanted we could pre-print it, right? There's no problem. We could pre-print the receipt, but the name at least, because they were clueless about this. I was very keen to sort of print it in Sinhala. I went all around, met Samaranayaka as usual, right? Couldn't do anything. But as you said, Mr. Mahanama, right, was one of the guys who helped me there. I was part of the programming team, and we did the transliteration at that time, So we had a lot of problems creating the libraries, the programs were not that strong. But somehow, we managed to do it with a lot of challenges. So we were very proud of it. Coming in Sinhala, first time in history, a receipt is coming in Sinhala. The certificate of the insurance for the farmer is coming in Sinhala. So I arranged a huge do. I was very happy about it, very proud at Elphinstone. So they said, you must invite the big shots of the country. I don't want to tell the name. So I went and invited one of the big boys in the country as the chief guest. So he asked me what? So I said, sir, first time we are printing in Sinhala. So he said, so what? So I got so demoralized, after doing everything, the head, top guy saying, so what? But anyway, I didn't give up, invited him. And of course, my wife was in the audience. And so I was very proud, took the first printout, gave that person chief guest, he just took it and threw it up, right? So this is what, the people thought of Sinhala or Tamil. So, I can imagine the hardships that you would have gone. And I really congratulate all of you, right? And I'm very proud that ICTA has been part of it. We know there is a huge collaboration that we can in future. There are a lot of other things to do here. So as ICTA, we would be very pleased to be part of this. And further, I would say that we are getting all the stakeholders of IT into one group, like, SLASCOM, FITIS, BCAs, Computer Society. So we would like all of you to come into one single forum where we have a window to talk to the government and push them in the policies that we know, and for the government to support us. So I would like for us to build a strong collaboration with you and ICTA. And I know that that can be very useful and can be productive to all of us. So I again congratulate Varuni. I read your book. Aruni, sorry. Aruni, I read your book. So I think met you long ago in Syntech. I have come there several times to meet Professor Samaranaike, who helped me a lot in my career. And I work for a Swedish company. And finally, the last, madam, if you don't know, you may not know, I did the final presentation slides for Professor Samaranaike to do it at Sweden, right? So I was very close to him, right? So thank you again, and I congratulate all of you and wish you all the best. And let's work together in the future. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. De Silva. Now I would like to invite Mr. Vasantha Deshapriya, who was the Program Director, Re-Engineering Government at ICTA. For this program area, it was crucially necessary that using ICT in local languages was made possible. He was also the Secretary to the Ministry of Telecommunications and Digital Infrastructure during 2015 to 18, and was the Director General of SLEDA prior to that. He has more than 35 years of public sector experience and has been extensively involved in government computerization and e-government initiatives. He will now speak to us about the necessity for local languages in government.
Chairman of ICTA and Madam Samaranaike, Jens Fernando, Chairman of Educated Domain Registry, and friends, and especially Aruni, Miss Aruni Gunathilaka. When I recall her name, it brings smiles to my because we know that when we were trying transliterations, people who are writing Gunathilaka in different names, she's the one who opposed that first, Gunatilaka Sinhala in going into English, it is not coming in the way that she wants, not double O and all that, and it is related to caste and all that. It was basically, yes, doing all that was, we work hard, but we had very lovely, hilarious moments while doing that. Coming to my topic, yes, government cannot do without Sinhala and Tamil ways of computing. I came across first Sinhala and Tamil when I came to the Ministry of Public Administration, where Helawadana and Tibas of Finance Plan and Helawadana Fonts were having a huge battle selling packages to everyone, every computer. There has to be a dongle and one package. So we had about, even those days, about over 50 computers. One Tibas package was 12,000 rupees at those days. So it was every time, once in 2 years, they would upgrade it and provide a different dongle. So it was a huge battle. When those days, we only use Sinhala and Tamil for word processing, and very rarely in even presentations and spreadsheet. However, when we were going into e-government and websites, this became a major problem. There was no way for us to present our information in 3 languages. First attempt was basically, Aruni also helped me. We did in 2002, 3 languages were used partially to find public admin circulars. Actually, we use kaputa.com font. Anybody who wants to use the trilingual interactive service should have to download kaputa.com and kakam.com, which were freely given by the friend introduced by Aruni and Lalit De Silva of the government printer, which Mr. Niranjan. We call him Kaputa anyway. He's a very lively character. I very gratefully, appreciatively, I remember. I have very fond memory of him because he went out of the way to support. He didn't charge a single cent. He said he used to be a government servant, so everything that he gives is free to government at that time. So, however, when we joined ICTA and when those days Dr. Gihan and Aruni were grappling with this, Aruni has written this incident very briefly. Our communication manager, strategic communication manager, wrote a mail to everyone at ICTA saying that, with they didn't have that smiley face those days, and there were no icons, but she has said that, BBC Sinhala site is all in English. So that is funny when you look at, but being the apex body for propagating ICT among the masses, and we didn't even have our website in Sinhala. We didn't have a single word in Sinhala or Tamil, and even our letterhead was only in English. So I wrote back a nasty mail to that. She still, with the particular lady still reminds this incident. And this led to, as Aruni has mentioned, our CEO pressurizing Dr. Gihan and Aruni to come up with the solution. And I was writing mail after mail to Manju because we had a gov.lk web portal only in English, by that time, and it is, it is, you can't have the English website for a country which is, dominant. The communication is done in Sinhala and Tamil predominantly. So Manju is also under pressure. I know that because there's no, but I couldn't let it up, let it down. And so one day I went to, I remember Manju was having another, Manju was very practical man and having a whiteboard to write things that he wants to do it day by day. And having sent the mail 3-4 times, I took a printout and went and pasted it there. No, I left it on his table and no response still. Then I took another printout, and I was a fan of, the Dilbert cartoons, and there was a funny Dilbert cartoon. Jane in Dilbert, it is a IT management cartoon series. There's the Jane, who is the programmer, is writing to CEO asking for a meeting to discuss the very urgent matter. So Jane is writing one after mail, and doesn't CEO is not giving. I can't remind the CEO's name with that leadership. The cartoon is now. She has gone and pasted the email on his desk and covering entire table, and so it's still not giving a meeting. A CEO is not giving a meeting. So Jane is gate crashing and going with a tattooing needle, and CEO asks, "Why is this?" No, I send you my same email 3 times. I pasted in your table, and now I came to tattoo that email in your chest. So you will see that. So that is the cartoon I posted in his desk. Well, big print, and he came with the printout of the cartoon and saying, "Wasn't that before you come with the needle, I came to you and let's discuss your need." So I said, "I am not going to do anything unless you give me Sinhala and Tamil Unicode fonts, so we could come up with the Sinhala websites." So we came with the first trilingual website in 2006. I hope I tried it to Wayback Machine, and it was done by actually eFusion, Kaputa.com, in Niranjan's, right? And it was, you can see it has Sinhala and Tamil the way right now, the way we are working, and it has all the pages in everything is in Sinhala and Tamil. So it was I think remarkable way the eFusion, Mr. Niranjan Meegamman, who took this actually 2 companies bid for that, Niranjan and somebody else, and the other company completely failed. And Niranjan took did a lot of research, a lot of new work, innovative work. So that's why I am referring to, remembering his name, though he's not here. Doing from that point onwards, we did, I think, over 1,000 government websites in the 3 languages. By 2010, almost every government organization had trilingual websites with content management systems. However, that is where, and ICTA, though we came up with the mechanism to represent information in local languages, we didn't have a way of pushing it forward. That is where we came up with the e-government policy in 2009. Jayant and Aruni is the one who drafted the almost basically we manage it entirely, and that was a very nice work. And it had the requirement written that all the government organization should present the information, whatever it is, in all three languages by using SLA's standards and Sinhala and Tamil Unicode. And even if you can, don't worry. We had the way of even presenting in that particular government policy. English should be in the your welcome page. English should be in the middle. Tamil and Sinhala should be on other sides for selecting your preferred language. So why I am referring to this particular policies, that policy became the vehicle and making it mandatory for government to use Sinhala Unicode for communication, the websites, and even doing systems. And it went into interoperability standards in that particular thing. And the particular policy indicated how Sinhala, Tamil, and English information should be captured by the databases. Though it is mandatory to communicate in it, so what are the essential information that should be kept in Sinhala and Tamil, which cannot be transliterated as it is? What could be transliterated and presented? What could be stored in the backend? So we that particular e-government policy went very far, referring how things should be done by the government. So that is where most of the things stopped. I know after 2014, as Mr. Jayantha Fernando mentioned, and Aruni also mentioned, the localization and propagation of e-government to masses completely stopped, and local government work stopped, and government using Sinhala, no standardization, nothing at all. People started using different fonts. Even I have very recently seen some government websites using proprietary fonts, and so we can't see it unless you download it. So that is that is because we are not monitoring the implementation of the policy, and policy is also mostly outdated. And the other part is Mr. Jayantha De Silva mentioned about the first translator they did. ICT also spent a lot of money, did 2 transliterators, but still each organization is using their own transliterators. So that is again breaking the interoperability requirements. I think the government having one common solution as a service system for transliteration is a must, because just to keep it uniform, because Gunatilaka name would be written in different ways unless there is but actually the first transliterator gave the option what was done by Sansland. In case I prefer Desha Priya to be written with Payanushan, I could suggest that in particular, when referring to my the way I want my name to be written is this way. So they will capture the exceptions, and when referring to particular person, will come up with a particular way of writing your name. So with that, I think there are, this book says that we have come far and we have done a lot. That is groundwork, but we can't, be satisfied that everything is okay, as we realize the chairman of ICT wrote to Unicode Consider very recently. They did some some other characters, some not mandatory characters coming into the main page of Sinhala main area. Likewise, there are a lot of things that could be further done to ensure that government would be using standard Sinhala and Tamil mechanisms, technologies to represent, present information and capture information from the users. So that area, I think, is going to be again with coming mobile and new technologies, as Professor Gihan has mentioned. We are stepping into new areas like artificial intelligence, IoT, robotics, VR, AR, and everything, and how Sinhala and Tamil would be users who want those technologies to be used in their preferred language. That is the right that has been ensured by the Constitution of Sri Lanka. So it is the mandate of ICTA to ensure that whatever the new technologies that would be, people who are only capable of communicating in a particular language, they should only in Sinhala and Tamil. They should we should ensure that they would also be treated equally, and there won't be no unequal treatments. So with that, I congratulate on Aruni, writing this book and taking so much time. And it is great to see that, all the 99.9% work that has been done those days being documented. And it is going to be a historical book, because this cannot be done again. I mean, the work that was done at the LLWG, I need to again give my appreciation. The very the dedicated team. They never work for any returns rather than the satisfaction. Starting from Gihan Das to Harsha, Ruan, and so there are so many people who spend their dedicated their time on developing Sinhala and Tamil localization, computing in those languages, and the knowledge gained on their personal interest work shared with the common. They make it a common public value finally to this work. So I for the work that they supported for the improving the government e-government work by their dedication, I thank them also. And again, well done, Aruni. I'm really happy. I'm a bookworm, so I really happy to have this book, especially as author by with your signature and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deshapriya. It is time to invite participants who are here in person or who are here via online to share a few words of their experiences on this area. I think Mr. Rohan Manamudali would like to join online, he mentioned.
Good evening. I would like to thank Ms. Aruni Gunatilaka, especially for this endeavor. Actually, this is a very happy day, and this is a very important day with regards to local language computing in Sri Lanka. Today, this generation is yielding all the benefits of ICT, but sometimes most of them, they don't have a proper idea of its history in Sri Lanka. Therefore, actually, there were many people who contributed their valuable time of their lives to build ICT sector in Sri Lanka. My personal view is that the development we have today in ICT sector was mostly inspired and supported by local language computing. I believe that Ms. Aruni is one of the most eligible person to write this kind of a book, because she was one of the one who involved in this area from the inception. I can remember when we first came to meet Professor Samaranayake, that was I think around in 1990, to show our work to him. Aruni was the one who coordinated us at that time. I don't know whether she can remember it, but she was the one who coordinated. Actually, I'm not going to talk that much of things. I would like to congratulate Ms. Aruni, and I wish her success in this endeavor. And also I would like to thank her for recording all this history. I think actually unbiased way. Actually, she had recorded all this history. Even actually, we could not remember even some areas, but she had very nicely recorded everything. Thank you very much.
Right. Now, Mr. Chandranath would like to join online to say a few words too.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what I'm going to say, but I must congratulate Aruni, because I know the trouble she had with me and the amount of persuasions and calls she had to give me in pursuit of trying to do a good job on this book. And I now feel that the book is fairly well balanced. Certainly there may be few things left out, but it's a fantastically comprehensive book. And I think if Aruni, you can keep a line open to get some feedback from people who feel that they have not been included, we could do so in a second edition. I'll also like to congratulate LK Domain Registry, that's Gihan and Jayantha De Silva, for providing funds and the impetus and the drive to do this. Because my initial reaction to Aruni was also to say that, we did some work, let it be forgotten. Who wants to remember things? World will go on, new things will happen, and is it very important? But of course, she persisted. So I'll just say one more little thing about the history as far as DMS goes, because we were one of the pioneering companies to do the Sinhala and Tamil in computer environments, whether it was IBM PC or whether it was on the WAN platforms. The beginnings of this idea was in 1978, when two engineers, which is a guy called Paramguru. I think Mr. Jayanta De Silva knows him well. And myself, we went to the US to study hardware, how to maintain these systems. And lo and behold, one fine day, we were informed that Dr. An Wang himself was going to come and meet us. So he met us at the reception of the facility and said, for you two guys from Asia, I have a special place. I want to show you our labs. We are building the next generation technology. Both of us were extremely excited. I felt that we are going to walk into a laboratory with white gowns and some serious stuff like. Instead of which, we marched into a fairly largish room with about 35, 40 fellows, young chaps like us, in jeans and sneakers and t-shirts. And they said they were developing what is called the word processor. And that would be a huge change in the way computers are used. In my mind, initially I said, this Chinese man must be mad. Like, computers are to be used as computers. What is all this word processing? So they demonstrated it to us. The storage was a cassette tape. The screen was a small, like a PC-like screen. But on the flight back, it occurred to me, my goodness, if text is going to be processed, then what about our local languages? So we came back and I told the management, why don't we do this? They said, look, we are just fighting for survival here, no waste. So we had an idea called Skunk Works. At that time, a management idea called Skunk Works. It was nothing more than the company will not give you money. You stayed overnight and did your own thing. So there were 4 other engineers. Chandana Veerasinghe, whom most of you know, Ravi Vikramasinghe, and Krishanta Jayaratna. So we worked all nights, no money was given, and we built these systems and we launched it. And we were very eager to see Sri Lanka use it. And lo and behold, we went into a legal case. That legal case became the first battle to test out the IPR laws that were just brought in. And I suddenly realized enthusiasm alone doesn't get the job done. For years, it went into legal wrangles. The company also spent tons of money. The opposition, my friend Kumarasen, also spent money. Lawyers, of course, became rich, I think, over us. And the lessons we learned was that pure innovation and interest doesn't get the job done. Our own company lacked interest thereafter and it tapered off. But I am so glad that it went on and we have some substantial things to show now. So I hope you like that little story from the past. So I think it has many lessons here and Aruni has documented these things accurately. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we would like to invite Mr. Jagat Ranavaka, who has requested he would like to say a few words online.
He's on mute. Yeah. Yeah. Again, he's on mute. Yeah. I can ask him to unmute, but
Hello, can you hear me? I'm Jagat Ranawaka. Actually, I want to talk about Mr. SSP Mahanama, who came to my office in 1986. And he was working for a company called Weatherby Training Institute. And he has developed a single word processor for a Sinclair machine. And then he came and told me that he had a problem with Weatherby and he wanted to come and develop a program for single word processor. At that time, I was marketing IBM compatible computers. Then he told me, okay, then I told him, okay, if you develop the program for IBM compatibles, then I can sell that for you. Then what he did was, he asked me 10,000 rupees a month, and for 5 months, 50,000 rupees for him to develop the program. Then I told I don't have money to give 50,000 at that time, but we will go to a bank and ask for money. So we went to several development banks like DFCC, NDB, several banks, and then they refused to give 50,000 because they said that they don't know what the product is and they don't know whether we can sell it. Then I told, okay, I'll give you 10,000 rupees to start. Within 1 month, he managed to develop a single word processor for the IBM compatible machines. Fortunately, some other one printer from Gaul, Mr. Aryadasa. He's from Aryadasa Printers. He came and asked whether he can buy this package. Then we told, yes, it's possible. I had only spent 10,000 rupees. It is 50,000. So he said, no problem. Then he bought a computer and the package for 50,000. And he was able to print his books and documents in Sinhala using Mahanama's program. Then he bought another for another 2 computers and got this package. So at that time, after then we sold several of these programs for this thing, and then in 1991, Mettaveri Hamduru came and I knew him before he ordained. He came to my office and then asked me whether it is possible to help him to transfer this Tripitaka, 52 volumes, to the computer, but it has all Bandiapuru. So Mahanama took the challenge and he managed to develop Bandiapuru also into his program and gave the entire Tripitaka was entered to the computer in 1991 to, I think, within 2 years to the computer. And after that, he wrote a program to convert, transliterate this to Tamil, Devanagari, and Pali and Roman, English, and also he wrote a search program because Mahanama was writing all programs in assembler and then he wrote all the programs in single. And so it was later Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa was buying our programs. He was using a font called Aralia for all his letters from 1991 to about 2005. So in 2005, we gave a free copy to, at that time he was the opposition leader. And I think I have a picture of Mahanama, which I should be able to share it. All right, screen sharing is not possible. Anyway, so we managed to give so he, and also after that he developed a program in Sinhala for horoscope reading, reading. I think this is basically to get the horoscope and the details from the computer. And he was unfortunately he passed away in last year September in the age of in his 70s. Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, you can share now, Mr. Manamuddali. Sorry, Jagat Ranavaka, yes. Can you share the picture you wanted to share?
Yeah, this is Mr. Mahanama, and we presented a free copy so that he can copy it in, he was buying all these when he was in the opposition as well as in the, when he was the minister, he was buying for all these computers this single word processor of Mahanama with the earlier font. So all these letters were in that earlier font, and then we gave a copy in 2005 July. At that time, he was the opposition leader at the parliament. We presented to Honorable Mahinda Rajapaksa a copy, and this is Mr. Mahanama. Most of you may not have seen him, and this is myself, and actually
now we would like to invite Mr. Sampath Godamune to speak via online.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sampath Gadamunde. I was part of the team of this Science Land where we developed TIBAS. And I do have a few things to share with you because I think I must be very much grateful to Aruni for the type of the work she has done for the sector of the local language. So where she has been there for almost all the time. When we went to what you call it, Syntech and thereafter ICTA, and everywhere she was there. She was very much helpful. But in the same time, I want to give a little what you call awareness about something what we have been doing at the Science Land, where we developed the Sinhala language fonts and at the same time keyboard drivers for Windows. And the very beginning was the DOS based something similar to what Mr. Mahanama did at the Jagat Robotics. Then finally we came up with the application for mobile, where we had a very nice experience. At the same time, when our friend Harsha Pursingh, where he had what you call the microimage, had the mobile applications, and he has launched this application there in Dialog, and for which he got a patent. And finally, when we want to launch our application in Mobitel, we had a problem of the patent. Then we went for a legal battle, and we had a very nice experience where soon after we filed the actions, and say Mr. Manju Hattatua, who called me and says, Sampath, why don't you amicably sort this out and meet Harsha? Because I have been meeting Harsha. Then I think after 2 days we had a lunch. But anyway, it was amicably sorted out. And we launched in Mobitel, and Harsha has been continuing with the dialogue. But besides that, there's another very important thing I want to highlight here, because we have almost all the every lot of people here, for the guest as well as the chief guests who are in this IT sector, who represent the apex bodies. Because we were undertaking the Sinhala language version of the Windows, and personally I believe, because we have a lot of struggle to translate these things into Sinhala and to context, and especially the Windows Sinhala version of the Windows, but it was a failure. It was a failure. Because when you convert it to the Sinhala, it was very difficult for anybody to see what it explains. It's not very much clear. So I think it is something we need to seriously address, because sometimes, say for example, as far as the people are not very much familiar with this, what do you call? We normally Sinhala said the paribhashika vachana for what do you call it, for computer language. So those things are very much not familiar with everybody. So one nice thing was, at the time when we were doing the translation, for the scan, we had the word called the parilokane, but it was not a suitable word. Then we had to struggle with the team, ICTA and the UCSC, and a lot of professors and the doctors were there. Finally, we decided to have the scan kirima. So this type of the memories we had. But in the same time, I think we need to address a few other things as well. I think we need a little more concentration on carrying this the technology into the local bodies, because whatever we said and done, we are partly Singlish-like, right? So sometimes when we are using the, what you call, the technical words in Sinhala, it is not work the way, even though we like it. So there may be certain experience we can take from Japan and other countries in this context. But anyway, Aruni, it's a great work, and I appreciate Aruni and Professor Gihandais. Yes, of course, because I think what we have today, the Unicode, I know how far he went and what type of the struggle and what type of the work he did. Thanks to Professor Gihandai's work, I think we do have our Unicode here. It is very much important, because that is one of the great achievement. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we would like to invite Tusha Mukundan, who would like to say a few words. She has left the meeting. So anyone else who would like to say a few words online, or anybody who's here?
finish the formal proceedings, and if anybody wants, we can have the.
Okay. Right. Finally, I would like to invite Mr. Harsha Vijayawardena, CEO of Theekshana, who has contributed immensely towards work on Sinhala Unicode and was a member of Internet Committee of the Council for Information Technology, where work on implementation Sinhala Unicode began. He has been a member of the Local Language Working Group of ICTA and is a member of the Sectoral Committee on ICT of the Sri Lanka Standards Institution. I would like to invite you to give the vote of thanks.
Mrs. Sanarnayaka and Mr. Janth Phanwan, Chairman ICTA, and my friend Gihan and Jantha and Vasantha. And I think it's a great privilege for me to do I forgot Aruni also. I'm just about to say. My task is actually to do a word of thanks, but I have to say a few things before I do that. Because when reminiscing the past, there are two things I remember very vividly. One was Gihan coming to my lab one day, asking me about Rakaranse and Yanse. So he came and said, Harsha, now, so this is after all of this ICT committee, our internet committee. And he said, I don't know where the Rakaranse and so why they were not encoded. So, so my answer is, well, I don't know. I better go and ask Mr. Nandasara. So I ran to Mr. Nandasara and I asked. He said, go and ask Professor J.B. Dissanayake. So I went to Professor J.B. Dissanayake and then back to, he said, no, actually you have to go and ask Nandasara. I don't know what that is. So anyway, I returned without an answer. And I remember vividly that it's like in my mind, both of us, and at that time, Ruan was on sabbatical. So we didn't know actually what it was, but we worked on. And another picture that I really will remember was because I would have not been here doing Sinhala without Professor Samanayaka. I mean, like you, so I think I took the torch subsequently. And one of the things that I have to emphasize, Prof never knew Sinhala Unicode worked. When he passed away, actually I must say that he had not seen Sinhala rendering. And, but I think he was blamed for so many things, I remember. So I must be thankful to him. And so that brings to this interesting, because you talked about Channa. One day Prof called me, that was Syntech time. I think we will remember that was Syntech. This is the transition between the India, Microsoft taking care of Sri Lanka and Microsoft coming to Sri Lanka. So Prof called me and said, so at that time I was working, right? I don't want to talk about how that happened also, but that one day I will talk about in my memoirs. But he said there is a vice president of Microsoft coming to Sri Lanka. So why don't you go and, by that time I have figured it out that without the rendering machine, Windows working, we could not do Sinhala. So Prof said, why don't you go and speak to Microsoft vice president? So I dashed out and I had to drive with none other than the present director of UCSC, Professor Hewagamage. He had just returned from Japan. Mr. Samanthilaka was at that time. He was also there. So I went and I walked in. The only thing I said only a very few words. I said, we want the Sinhala. I was thrown out of the room. He said, I remember vividly the Microsoft director telling me, at that time there was an Indian country manager was also here, telling me that we are not going to do Sinhala. You know why? You guys are not, enforcing our copyright laws in Sri Lanka. Literally, he threw me out. And so I came out and I remember vividly, I sat in the lounge, and Indians are like totally, they were not there what they were doing. So I want to do Linux because that's the thing that I had in my mind. I came back and I told Prof, it's off basically. And in the evening, Indians came and they were very apologetic. So that's the first time I felt so proud of being Sri Lankan. And to use Sinhala, anyway I wanted to do Sinhala somehow. So then when I was so bad, basically, there was one of my students named Samara Vikrama. So he knocked on the door and he walked in. And he said, why, sir, what's the problem? So I said, there was this issue. He said, my first cousin is working for Microsoft. So I said, who? Prasanna Samaravikram. At that time, I don't know if you remember Prasanna Samaravikram. He was my classmate at Ananda. So I vaguely remembered that. So I said, is it Prasanna Samaravikram? Yes. Then he said, no, by the way, he is now the person who is taking care of the, the Sinhala at the Microsoft in Redmond. So we had to bypass now this guy was a Costa Rican vice president. So anyway, I went and told Prof, there was this thing. I think subsequently, I don't know if you wrote or Prof wrote. Prof wrote to some Prasanna, and from there onwards, the history changed. So that is how in 2005, Sinhala was out. So one thing I had to tell you, there's another incident. I don't know whether it's okay for me to talk about that, I think. So there was this thing about Colombo doing all Sinhala work. So the Prof was of the view, it should be done somehow in Colombo. What Gihan didn't know was, one night, I don't know if someone I remember, I sat and convinced Prof for about 2.5 hours that we should collaborate with Gihan. So that collaboration made, I had to tell you, otherwise my belief is without coming together, we would have not done any of those things. It would have waited until 2007 when Unicode became the standard. At that time it was not the standard. Even today, I believe there are a lot of work we have to do, especially Rakara, Anse, and Rapia. I believe they should have been encoded. The other thing is, so those are things I want to say. I have a lot to say, but the time does not permit me. But so I have to be thankful to Gihan, and we worked very closely. And I think subsequently, a lot of work was done behind the scene. One day, I want to say something also. What Vasanta said, a lot of things were done. Billions were spent. But I'll tell you this, Sinhala was done with a minimum amount of money. But that remains. So that you can see the dedication. It's not the money, but the passion that we are talking about. So there's another person, actually, Ruan, he's not here. I think he took the torch from Prof. So we worked together. And today we talk about Sinhala with all these, I think I would call them musketeers. So we carried so I have to I want to pay a tribute to Professor Samaranaika. And although there was so much he got better because of this, I would not forget that. I should not So Aruni, it was a great book. So I read it in one single. I opened the book. I'm a bookworm, as Vasanta is. I love books. I read from cover to cover. Then I couldn't believe that it was me who was there with the Gihan and I was standing. I looked at it and said, oh, I was thin those days. My daughter said I was thin. And so I challenged my daughter to identify me. So you were thin those days. So anyway, let me read what Aruni wrote, basically, and let me read that basically word of thanks. So thank you very much, Aruni, what you have done a brilliant job, right? So that also, right? So let me thank. So I'm now thanking on behalf of her, right? So she had said, Professor Gihan Dias, of course, that we have to thank to him, who thought of the necessity to document, and I believe that should have, anyway, that is the call of the day. What was done in enabling ICT in Sinhala and Tamil, this is needed for posterity. So of course I have thanked you twice now, I think, right? The LK Domain Registry, its chairman and the board, my good friend Jayanta. I remember you about when we were doing this numerals, how many times, right? Subsequently, there was something else. I think a lot of people, we went and fought and got the WG2 in Sri Lanka. Michael Leverson came to Sri Lanka, right? So we did it. Yeah, and we got the voting rights. So that's the first time Sri Lanka had the voting rights. We got it, right? And we got the voting rights. Yesterday, I got ISOC SC2, the ballot one. I can't open it. I don't have the password. The document had been sent to me. So I think this is the right time for the chairman ICT is here. I think I'm pleading you to look at, and I don't know, so I can't open it. So when they type. So I can't read now what is in the ballot, basically. So I'm sorry about it. And Chandra Bindu, they have put it in. Let me tell you a Chandra Bindu. No one knows how to put it in transliterated Sinhala. The rules, we don't know how to do it because never in Sinhala, Chandra Bindu is used when they translated Sanskrit. Right? Anyway, that's staff of the LK Domain Registry, and they're streaming today. So thank you very much for all your efforts. This is specifically Ms. Shamali Pereira. Shamali came so many times to my office, who attracted designed the book, and Ms. Niroja Jayawardena. Thank you very much. And Sampath and the tech team for doing all of that work. Mr. Pushpanand Dekanayak, I saw him there on there. I think it's a beautiful cover. That's beautifully done. For most appropriate, beautiful cover design. Everybody in the private sector, in the state sector, in the universities, and also individuals who work so hard and effectively throughout the years on enabling ICT in Sinhala and Tamil, and whom Aruni has mentioned in the book, acknowledgement. Everybody whom Aruni interviewed and provided with information, all those who helped Aruni effectively read the book, particularly those who did the comprehensive final reviews. Ms. Janaki Mampitiya, Mr. Lal Chandranath, Mr. Vasant Deshapriya is here. The former chairman of ICTA, Professor V.K. Samanayaka, who was a pioneer in this area, and Professor P.W. Apasinger, and the former CEOs, Mr. Manju Hattatua, and Mr. Reshan Devapura and the leadership team, Reshan, Jayanta, and Vasanta, for the support rendered towards the local language initiative. And lastly, gracing this occasion, and I know that a lot of work has to be done, and Mr. Jayanta De Silva and Mrs. Samanayaka and Mr. Vasant Deshapriya is also here for everybody who participated in this event. Thank you very much. Whom I have not mentioned, I'm sorry. The blame should not go to me, or I don't know whom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vijayawardena. As we conclude the book launch, I would like to inform that people who are interested in purchasing a hard copy of this book, please send your request via email to info at ict-history.lk. Thank you all who participated for this event, and I would like to invite all those who are present to join us for some refreshments. Have a good evening.
Do is we can have a session where anybody who wants to speak can speak. So I think you can unmute all, and then if anybody wants to speak, they can speak now. So if anybody has anything, so people are around, but also people who are not in this particular room also are available on Zoom. So if you want to say something, please go ahead. So you put on the video for a while. So if anybody wants to switch on their video, there are people here, so we can have a chat. Yeah, I think people are most leaving. No, most of the people have left anyway, right?